The hum of my office seemed unusually loud today, a cacophony of keyboards clacking and phones ringing, as if the universe itself was ramping up the tension. I sat at my desk, poring over the latest reports, but my mind was anywhere but on the figures that danced before my eyes. Just then, the door creaked open, and in sauntered my boss, Michael Trenton, with that all-too-familiar smirk plastered across his face. He never knocked, acting as if every room he entered was merely an extension of his own vast domain. Dave, working hard, I see," Michael said, draping himself over the chair opposite mine, as if it were a throne. I nodded, forced to smile. "Always, Mike. What can I do for you?" He leaned forward, his eyes gleaming with a mixture of mischief and something darker I couldn't quite place. "Not a bad secretary you have," he began, nodding toward the open office where my wife, Jenna, was organizing some files. His gaze lingered a little too long for comfort. "I know she's your wife, but I can see her making eyes at me. So, don't take offense. If anything, if I were her, I wouldn't resist either." My hand clenched into a fist under the table, but I kept my voice steady. "She's very committed to her work and to me." Michael chuckled, standing up. Of course. Just saying, she's a catch. And you know, in my position, it's hard not to notice." With a wink, he strolled out, leaving a sour taste in my mouth. The moment he left, my heart pounded with a mixture of anger and disbelief. How dare he? But before I could process it fully, something urged me to follow him, to confront this disrespect head-on. As soon as I opened my door, the scene before me froze me in place. There in the middle of our bustling office was Michael, his lips pressed against Jenna's in what seemed like a mutual kiss. The room spun as murmurs swirled around, and as Jenna pulled away, she looked not at Michael but directly at me, her expression unreadable. The betrayal sliced through me sharper than any physical blow could have been. Not only was this a betrayal of our vows, but done so publicly, it was a clear message. Humiliated and hurt, I turned back into my office, slamming the door behind me. Hours must have passed as I sat there alone, the earlier reports long forgotten. My mind raced through every moment Jenna and I had shared, every promise whispered. It all seemed like a cruel joke now. But as night fell and the office grew quiet, a cold resolve settled over me. Michael Trenton had made a grave mistake, and one he would regret. I began to plan. Revenge would be mine, calculated and sweet. I would hit him where it hurt most, his career, his reputation. I would dismantle his life piece by piece, just as he had mine. But first, I needed information, allies, and proof. Tomorrow, the game would begin. Michael Trenton would learn the hard way that he had chosen the wrong employee's life to destroy. The first rays of dawn are still hours away when I return to the office. It's eerily silent, a stark contrast to the usual bustle. The cold of the computer screens and the faint hum of the air conditioning are my only companions as I start sifting through Michael's electronic trails. As I'm deep into the server logs, the sound of hesitant footsteps breaks the silence. I spin around to see Liz, the night security guard, standing in the doorway with a puzzled look on her face. "Dave, what are you doing here so early? Or late?" Her voice is laced with curiosity. "I could ask you the same," I reply, trying to mask the urgency in my voice. She chuckles, stepping inside. "Well, I'm supposed to be here. But you don't tell me you're turning into one of those workaholics?" I hesitate, then decide to trust her. "Liz, I need to keep this between us, but I'm looking into something sensitive." "About Michael?" Her eyebrows shoot up. "What's he done now?" Explaining the situation risks too much, but Liz's trustworthy nature wins out. "He's crossed a line with someone very close to me. I'm gathering some information." Liz nods, her expression turning serious. "Say no more. I've seen him sneaking around after hours. Always thought he was up to no good. How can I help?" "Access to the CCTV footage from yesterday. Can you manage that?" "Consider it done," Liz says, pulling out her keys and heading to the security room. While she's gone, I dive back into Michael's emails, searching for anything incriminating. That's when Tom, our IT guy, nearly gives me a heart attack by suddenly appearing at my cubicle. "Dave, you look like you're trying to hack the Pentagon. What's up?" I weigh my options quickly. Tom's skills could be invaluable. "Tom, I'm glad you're here. I need help tracking down financial anomalies in Michael's projects. Think you can handle that?" Tom's eyes gleam with excitement. "You had me at anomalies. I'm in." With Liz and Tom on board, our makeshift team forms more quickly than I had dared hope. Liz returns with a flash drive. "Got the footage and Something else, too. Seems Michael's been having late-night meetings with some of our competitors. Tom whistles low. Looks like you've got a bigger fish to fry than just a personal vendetta. We gather around my desk, watching the footage. There's Michael, clear as day, laughing and shaking hands with known rivals. It's the break we need, but it's just the beginning. We need to be careful, I caution them. Aware of the risks, this goes beyond personal, it's about the company now. Liz nods, her face set with determination. We're with you, Dave. Let's take this guy down. The early morning light begins to filter through the blinds as we set our plan into motion. Michael Trenton is about to find out he's not as untouchable as he thinks. As I watch Liz and Tom work, a sense of camaraderie builds. We're in this together, and we're going to win. The office is a hive of activity as the clock ticks towards 9 o'clock. The usual morning rush feels different today, as Liz, Tom, and I share knowing glances. We're not just colleagues anymore, we're co-conspirators in a mission that grows more complex with every passing hour. As people settle into their routines, I make my way to Jenna's desk. She looks up, surprised to see me approaching. Dave, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be in your office? Her voice is a mix of confusion and concern. I lean in, keeping my voice low. We need to talk. Lunchtime, the park bench across the street. It's important. Jenna nods, a flicker of unease crossing her features. The morning drags on as I try to focus on my tasks, but my real attention is on the digital traps we've set for Michael. Tom's been monitoring his email traffic, and Liz is keeping an eye on the building's comings and goings, noting anything unusual. At noon, I find Jenna waiting on the bench. Her eyes search mine for answers. Dave, what's going on? You're scaring me. I take a deep breath, choosing my words carefully. It's about Michael. There's more to him than we knew. It's not just personal anymore, it's about the company, about illegal dealings. Jenna's face pales. What, Dave? I hold up a hand to stop her. I know about the kiss. We need to put that aside for now. This is bigger than us. I need to know if you can help. After a tense moment, she nods. Of course. What do you need me to do? Keep an eye on him. Anything unusual, report it. He trusts you. She agrees, and we part ways, the weight of the task settling on her shoulders. Back at the office, Tom flags me down, excitement in his eyes. Got something. Michael's been moving large sums around, possibly laundering money through the company. I've traced some of it to offshore accounts. That could be our smoking gun. I reply, feeling a surge of adrenaline. Can you link it directly to him? I'm on it, Tom assures, turning back to his screens. The afternoon is a blur of activity. Liz reports that Michael has been receiving guests with ties to our competitors, strengthening our suspicions of corporate espionage. As the day winds down, I summon Liz and Tom for a meeting in a secluded conference room. We're close to exposing him, but we need concrete evidence that ties everything together, I say. Liz nods, her face grim. I might have something else, she says. There's a meeting he's scheduled tonight in his office, off the books. No attendees listed. Very hush-hush. That's it, then, I decide. We need to know what goes down in that meeting. Liz, can you get audio? I ask. She grins. Already on it. I'll plant a mic in his office before everyone leaves. As evening approaches, our plan is set. Jenna sends a discreet message confirming Michael is heading back to his office for the meeting. We're in position, monitoring everything from a laptop in the darkened corner of an unused office. The screen flickers, and Michael's office comes into view. He's not alone, a shadowy figure sits across from him. The audio crackles to life, and we lean in, listening to every damning word. Each piece of evidence locks into place like a puzzle. As we gather the proof of Michael's deceit, the web we've woven tightens. This is the moment of truth, and we are ready to strike. The office is unnaturally quiet as the night deepens, only the dim glow of our laptop screen illuminating our faces as we huddle around, listening intently to the conversation unfolding in Michael's office. The figure opposite him is shrouded in darkness. You're sure no one suspects anything? The shadowy figure asks, their voice distorted slightly by the microphone Liz planted. Absolutely, Michael's confident reply cuts through the static. Everything's moving as planned. The funds are secure, and soon we'll control the entire board. Liz, Tom, and I exchange glances. The gravity of his betrayals sinks in. He wasn't just cheating the company, he was orchestrating a complete takeover. Suddenly, Jenna's message pings on my phone. He's leaving the office, heading your way. Get ready, I whisper as we prepare to confront him. Minutes later, Michael strides confidently into the room, stopping short when he sees us. "What the hell is this?" he demands, his eyes flicking from face to face. "Game's over, Michael," I say, standing to meet him. "We know everything about the money, the secret meetings, your plans to take over." Michael laughs, a cold, harsh sound. "You think you have anything on me? You're just small-time players in a game too big for you." Tom steps forward, laptop in hand. "Except we recorded everything, and the board already knows. You're finished here." The smirk finally falls from Michael's face as he realizes the extent of our trap. But before he can respond, the door swings open again. Everyone turns, and Jenna walks in, not alone this time but with the CEO and two members of the board. Michael's face turns white. "This is a setup," he stammers. The CEO steps forward, his expression grim. "Thanks to Dave and his team, we've uncovered your plan, Trenton. Consider yourself terminated from this company and expect legal action." As security escorts Michael out, Jenna approaches me, her eyes filled with tears. "Dave," before she can continue, I hold up a hand. "We'll talk." With Michael gone, the room feels suddenly lighter. The CEO turns to me, a small smile playing on his lips. "Dave, your loyalty and dedication have saved this company. We need someone like you in a higher position." Stunned, I nod, my mind racing with the implications. The following weeks are a whirlwind as I adapt to my new role in the company. Jen and I start to mend our relationship, taking it one day at a time, despite the turmoil. We rediscover our bond, stronger for the trials we faced. Months later, as I walk into my new, larger office, the CEO stops by with a final surprise, handing me an envelope. "I think you'll find this interesting," he says. Inside are legal documents transferring a significant amount of shares to my name. "We believe in rewarding those who stand by us in times of crisis," he explains. I'm speechless, filled with gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges we faced have not only strengthened my resolve but also my place within the company. And as I look out over the new horizons before me, I know that I'm ready for whatever lies ahead.